So after the client administration, we have some small transaction codes things we have. So that we will discuss and we'll go for the transport administration topic. So yeah. So before that, so small topic like we have the ICM, SMICM. So SMICM is the transaction code for the for monitoring the web-based request here, ICM, ICM transaction code for monitoring the HTTP, HTTPS request in the SAP system. So few users, so they will not only will use the SAP login pad, they will use the through browser-based URL as well to connect to the our SAP systems here. So in that case, so this SMICM means this ICM will help us to validate the browser-based connections and the process the HTTP or HTTPS request. Browser means definitely either it should be the HTTP or it should be the HTTP or HTTPS connections here, right? So here we need to configure the ports to handle the browser-based request. First of all, the ports should be activated here. Means HTTP, HTTPS, the ports should be activated here. So once you go to the here in the SMICM, here you will see the status of the ICM, Internet Communication Manager. Okay, ICM means Internet Communication Manager. Here you can see the status and their threads and all. You can see it here, right? If we go to and the services here, you can see the ports, HTTP, HTTPS if required, SMTP. So this port should be active status here. It should be configured. The port should be configured status here. So where can we configure these ports means from here itself we can configure the ports. Here itself we can configure the ports, new ports. Otherwise, we can set these things into the profile parameters. If we go to the RG10, the instance profile, here we can see the profile parameter about the ports, ICM server port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. If you configure it here, the ports will become to active status here. So here HTTP, the port should come to 80 instance number. HTTPS 443 instance number are the recommended ports for the HTTP, HTTPS. Sir, 80 I won't give. I will give the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can give it. That is depends upon your customer. Okay, customer dependency. But so normally the general recommendation from SAP 80 instance number and 443 instance number are the ports for the HTTP, HTTPS ports here, right? So this if you set in the default profile in the instance profile, if you restart it, these ports will come to the active status. These ports will come to the active status here. It will be displayed here. So with these ports only, the people will enter into your system via browser, right? Suppose they are the some normally we will use the transaction code. We will through SAP login pad. Through login pad, we will log into the SAP system where execute the transaction codes. But some cases, some business users they don't have the SAP login pad. They will use the different URLs, means browser-based URL. So that time, this ICM will play the very important role. Suppose like some people they will connect to the system through differently. So suppose like 3C through browser URL also I logged into the system. Through browser URL also I logged into our SAP system here. Through browser also I logged into the SAP system here. Right? See, through browser also I logged into the SAP system and here so I can do we can do the transactions and everything we can perform it here. Right? So here we can do the transactions and everything we can perform it here. So this is the one case here. Who is handling here? ICM is handling the browser based request here. ICM is handling the browser request here. So this is the host name. This is the port number, host name and port number, right? So post name and port number. Sir, what is this mean? This is the services. sub-services here. These are the services, means functionalities in the SAP system here. Functionalities in the SAP system. This is the host name and port numbers are the, so host name and port number. After that, whatever it is there, it is the services here, right? If the service is active, then you can see you logged into the SAP system through browser, then you can able to work it. You don't need logon pad also here, right? So this kind of things we can do that one. But here for browser based, right? So here SMICM will handle the browser based request here. Validations. So maintaining the request in the order, SMICM will handle the request here. SMICM will handle, take care of this request here, right? So the main thing here, so this port should be active. If the ports are not active, maybe there is a different port, then this will not come to the active status. It will come to like service is not available, service is not reached status. So there the different errors will come. Different errors will come if you give the wrong port number, which is not active, then you may face the multiple issues in the system here, right? The main thing is the port should be active status. It should be come to the active status here. And these are the ports here. Ports and ports should be active status here. Okay. So that is the port numbers here. Okay. So see, services cannot be reached. Sometimes when you open the some of the URLs, you may face it. When you're trying to book something, when you're trying to reach it, the server is not responding, something like that here. So because of the ICM related things and everything here, right? Sir, ICM is okay, but what about the service URLs? This is the URLs, means this is the services. These are the services, sub-services here. Sir, where to check the services, where to check this functionalities, means the service activations can be done using the SICF transaction codes. In SICF transaction code, we can activate the services here. Here, if you know, just you can put the service name. If you don't know, just click on the OK button. Here, you can activate the services here, whatever the service they want to activate it. Then you can BW service, some BEX service, some analysis service they want to activate it. You can activate it here. You can activate it here. Just click on right click and OK. Then whatever the service they ask, they will ask you to activate. You can activate that related service here. Activate that related service, you can activate it here. So the people they can use the, if you activate that service, people can use the that related functionalities, they can able to log in. That related functionalities they can able to log into the system here. That's what they will happen in the systems here, right? So that is what they will happen in the systems here, right? So this is the services activations related things. We can do it in the sub-service. SAP BC, GUI, SAP, it's GUI. So which means the service is active. That is the reason you are able to connect through browser. In case of the service is not active, example, there is a web GUI service, right? Web GUI service. So SICF, we have to activate the all the services here. So web GUI. So here what you do, right click and suppose like deactivate the service. Okay, deactivate the service. When you deactivate the service here, if you click on the refresh button, then the services cannot be reached, which means the service is not active, the service is not reachable. So maybe you may see the this type of error messages here, which means the service is deactivated. So even though ICM is up, the service is deactivated, you cannot able to log in. Then you need to activate the services here. Then click on the refresh button here. You can able to connect to the SAP systems here. You can able to connect to the SAP system here, right? So some BW related, BEX related issue, BEX related query also. So everything you are opening through URLs only. Everything you are opening through URLs only here. So here SMICM will allow you to connect to the system through browser via HTTP or HTTPS request here. So after that, if any service activations, any services, any functionalities you are trying to use it, you can use it. But that service, the functionalities should be activated in the SICF transaction code here. About like NWBC, it's a NetWeaver business workspace here. This one also, it's one of the business workspace. This is also should be activated status here. Activated status here. So, but there is a 500 internal server error here. There is no domain. So that's the reason it is using the domain. There is no domain. That's why this is coming like this, right? So like this. So services activation. See, this is the NWBC related services, right? NWBC related services. So NetWeaver business workspace. Each and every functionalities will be used by the respective teams here. So they will use the respective things to connect to the our SAP systems and everything here. So it's not like that everybody will use the browser. Everybody will use the SAP login pad. Multiple people, some people they will use the SAP login pad, some people use the browser, some people use the different technique, different tools. They will use it here. So, but in case of it's a browser, in case of browser, then here what we do it. So through SMICM, they will log into the SAP system. That time, so the ports should be active status here. HTTP, HTTPS ports should be active status here. In case of any issues, we can check the logs in under the go to, then trace file. We can go to the trace file. We can see the logs, error log files here. So why ICM is not handling the request? Is there any certificate related SSL certificate related error? There is a no data received from the server. So what is the exact errors? We can find out the some error messages here. See, we are trying to use this one. The SSL failed. The SSL is getting failed here. The SSL is getting failed here, right? So means certificates are getting failed. You see, so each and everything why it is connecting to the browser, it will give you the information. So unknown certificate, unknown peer, unknown certificate. So everything is coming like this here, right? Certificates, error, SSL errors and everything. So here ICM will handle the web-based request. That is only one thing you should know. The ports and all we can check in the SMICM. Service activation, SICF transaction code, we can check it out, right? ICM logs in the SMICM itself, we can check the ICM logs, how it is handling the browser-based request. Are there any certificate-related errors? Are there any other ports-related errors? So those things we can check in the SMICM transaction codes. Okay, SMICM, then SICF transaction codes here. So the next one is like a RFC types, right? So the RFC types we have here, types of RFCs. So we have so there the RFC means what? Remote function call. So remotely we can call the related functions here. So RFC uses CPIC communication here. CPIC communication to transfer the data. CPIC means Common Programming Interface for the Communication Protocol. CPIC protocol it will use to transfer the data between the system. It is specified that it is a SAP specific protocol during the RFC connection. SAP specific protocol here, CPIC protocol here, right? So that is the main thing here. And also, so there is a RFC will helps to reduce the efforts of programs, and so it avoid the some redevelopment and everything. Why? Because of RFC used to communicate the data, exchange the data between two systems. We will use the RFC. So RFC kind of a pipe. Simple example in our home, RFC is like a kind of a pipe here. Inside of the pipe, how the water flow will happen without pipe, so the water flow will not happen. Then right. So from your home to some other room to so some attached so different things, the pipes will be there. So the water flow will happen. Same as like so this RFC connection also will help to transfer the data here. So here they are the types of RFCs are there. Types of RFCs. It's not the connection types. They are the types of RFCs. So they are the four types of RFCs are there here. One is the synchronous RFC. Second one is the async RFC. The third one is called the transactional RFC. Transactional RFC here. The fourth one is called the queued RFC here. Queued RFC here. So queued RFC here. So these are the four types of RFC connections are there here, right? Synchronous RFC. Synchronous RFC means what? Right? So synchronous RFC means it requires both the systems should be available at the time of communication or data transfer here. So RFC means connecting between two systems. You need a RFC. They are the types of RFCs to transfer the data here. So the first one is the synchronous RFC. So synchronous RFC means when you are transferring the data from here to here, at the same time, both the systems should be available at the time of communication or data transfer. It is the most common type, and it is required when when immediately we want to execute something. That time this is required here, right? So which means communication between the systems where, so here acknowledgments are required to transfer the data from the source. Acknowledgement is required here. So which means when you are transferring the data from here to here, primary to, so suppose one system to other system, data will go to the secondary, means your respect to target system. Target system should be available here. Then once you receive the data, then the target will send the acknowledgement saying that, boss, I received your first transaction, then send me the acknowledgement, then send me the another data. Then like that, it will send the another set of data to here. Then it will send the acknowledgement back to the here. I received it. Means message delivered, right? So it means at the same time both the systems should be available. Then so the first system should be required the acknowledgement to send the another set of data here. The issue is if the target system is not available, source system wait until target system is available. This may lead to the some of the resource system resources will go into the sleep status, bottlenecks, memory, that kind of communication things we will get it out here. That type of things we will get it out here. This is the, so synchronous RFC, synchronous, right? The same time both the systems are should be available here, right? That is the synchronous RFC. Asynchronous RFC means most of the time, like suppose like client copies. So client copies and some other things are called the synchronous RFC. Why? Because during the client copy time, target system also, remote client copy target system also available, and also some of the jobs executions and remaining things, target also should be available here. If the target is not available, then client copy will get fail, right? Same as like here as well, client copy will get fail here, right? So this is the, so synchronous RFC. Asynchronous RFC means where the communication between two systems, acknowledgements are not required. Acknowledgements are not required, similar to the postcard delivery. This is kind of a postcard delivery. So acknowledgement is not required, which does not require both the system to be available at the same time of executions or results is not immediately. So why? Because so it does not require any acknowledgement. So the source, this is the source, will keep on sending the data to the target. Then whether the target is received or not, it will keep on sending the data to the target itself only. So which means source system does not wait for the target system as it delivered the message or data without waiting for any acknowledgement here, right? That is the parallel processing. It kind of a postcard delivery here. But synchronous, it will require the some acknowledgement from the, so target system about the primary. Then it will send the another set of data once is based upon the, once the first transaction is received. Once the first transaction is received, then send the second one. Once the second is received, then third one, fourth one, like that series wise it will send the data to the respective target system. From source to target, it will send the data here, right? That is the asynchronous RFC, right? So postcard delivery. Okay. Then transactional RFC, TRFC. TRFC. TRFC is a special form of the ARFC. It's a special advanced version of the ARFC here. Transactional RFC means each and every transactional RFC, it will assign the one transaction to the so whenever you are sending the data to primary source to target, it will assign the one transaction ID, right? One transaction ID it will assign to the system, the transaction. So it will avoid the duplicates and so remaining, so it will avoid the duplicates and everything here. Whenever sometimes whenever happening, when you are sending the data to the first system to second system, source to target system, it will send the data. If you are the data already exist, then it won't send it out. So that's the reason. So to avoid this kind of things, for each and every request in the SAP, it will assign the one transaction ID, so that when sending the data to the target, so there is, if the data already there, so this respective transaction will be failed in the SAP itself. It's saying that the data already exists in the target, it's a duplicate data, we can delete it, right? So that kind of things will be done by the transactional RFC. So that we can see it in the SM58 transaction code. In SM58, we can see the failed transactional RFCs are, so those things we can find it in the SM58 here, transactional RFC. So if you go to the SM58, but synchronous, asynchronous, there is no transaction codes. By default, all the RFC connections are in the, so synchronous RFC only here. It will be used, right? So then, so here SM58 is the transaction code. Here we can check the transactional RFC status and everything here. Just remove the dates and check. Are there any transaction failed? Which is failed. So yes. So there is a transaction which is failed. So which is stuck by basis user when it is created. What is the transaction ID here? Right? What is the transaction ID here? Here, there is a transaction ID got failed in the SAP system here, right? So we can see the transaction ID. If the same transaction ID already there, it will give the status like the duplicate data, something like that, right? So like that, when you're sending the data to the target system, for each and every transaction, it will assign a one transaction ID that will help to so identify or figure it out the whether the duplicate data already data went to the target system or not. It will send it out here, right? That is called the transactional RFC here. So if in case of anything is stuck red entries, then we can execute this one. See, let me try to execute, but it's failed because of the format error. No further container found. It's format error. There is a format error here. So in the real time, sometimes what happens in the real time, there are the many entries will stuck due to the target system not available, due to the some data error. Data error now we cannot do anything. In case of target system RFC communication issues, then that we need to check it out. Why target system is down? So we need to check that parts. We have to investigate it here. Okay, that is the transactional RFC. Each and every transaction, it will assign the transaction code here. Transaction code here. So that is called the transactional RFC. So this will identify registered post, similar to the registered post. Registered post, when you are sending the registered post, so kind of a registered post here. Okay. So postcard delivery, registered post. The next one is kind of a queued RFC, queued RFC, queues wise. Data will send it to the target system via queues. Queues wise, it will send the transaction here. This is the extension of the TRFC. It is also ensure that individual steps. Queues means individual steps are processed in a sequence to guarantee that multiple transactions are processed in a order as order is specified by the application. The all the data transactions something everything will go via order here. So that is called the queued RFC. Queues. Queue means line. So order wise, so sequence wise, the data will be transferred to the target system. So this will be defined by the application. Application team will define the orders and everything here. Sir, where can we monitor as part of our daily monitoring related things means SM58, you can check the these things. Then queued RFC and all, we can check in the SMQ1, SMQ2 are the transaction codes here. And SMQ1, SMQ2. SMQ1, SMQ2. If you go to the SMQ1, so here we can check there are the two queue outbound queues and there are the inbound queues here. So SMQ1, outbound queues. Then SM2, Q2. Then inbound queues. Inbound queues here. There are the queues. So which means via queue, data will be moved to the target system here. So, but this is also both the all the RFC's intention is transferring the data to the target system only. But the way you are transferring is different, right? Some transactions you will transfer to the target system via some other connections and everything. That is called the transactional RFC, which means when you are sending the data to the target, it will assign the one transaction ID, then you can send it to the target system, right? Queued RFC means some transactions will go via queues wise, order wise, sequence wise. Like there are the 1, 2, 3 steps. Then first one step should be executed, then second step, then third step, and fourth step. Like that order wise, it will be order wise, it will send the data. That is called the queued RFC here, right? Queues wise, it will transfer the data. So normally in the every SAP system, there are the inbound queues and outbound queues here. Inbound queues and outbound queues here, right? So inbound, let me show you inbound, which is coming inside of the system, right? When you are transferring the data to the here, this is called the inbound, which is called to the outbound, and which is called the inbound, right? Which is going to the outbound, which is going out, called the outbound. Inbound means which is coming inside of the system. So there is a transaction which is going to this target system via outbound, right? Via this one, it will go to the via outbound, it will go to the other system inbound, it will go to the other system inbound. Then here in the server, there is some records, some transactions will happen. Again, it will process the data through via outbound to again in this system inbound, then it will come to the inside of the system here, so this will happen here, right? So this is called the out, which is going outside of the system, which is called the in, which is coming inside of the system, same as like outbound and same as like inbound here. So this outbound and inbound configurations where to perform, right? So if you go to the SMQR, that is called the queue in scheduler, means inbound configuration, which is inbound, which is coming to your system like a in. So the queue name CF, MCX, XB, XT, these are the queues here. Means data will come to your SAP system in the form of queues, right? Queue wise it will come. Queue means order wise it will come. So the respective queues, respective order will be followed, data will be inserted inside of the system, which is coming inside of the system, right? This is called the inbound scheduler here. That is called the queue SMQR. SMQS is like a outbound scheduler, which is going outside of the system. Which is going outside of the system means via RFC destinations, it will go to the outside of the system, right? Here we have to define the RFC destinations here, means which you have created earlier. So suppose like if I want to create the new connection, here what is the RFC destination? I need to check it out here. Suppose like NW1. Then okay, then connection is defined here, connection is created here, which means you are sending the data to the NW1 ECP, ECD, ECD system here, which means you are sending the data to them. That is called the outbound via RFC destination. You are sending here, right? Via RFC destination, you are sending the data to them here. So yeah, these destinations we have to define the configuration part. SMQ1, SMQS, SMQR, we have to register the queues and everything here, right? Queues we have to do that one. Via these queues, data will come to the inside of the system. Via this queues configuration part, via this configuration, data will come. So where to check whether the data is coming or not? SMQ1, which is going outside, check are there any outbound queues are failed. Nothing is failed. But because here we don't have any data, that's why it's showing the same. But you should know about the transaction codes here. SMQ1, SMQ2. SMQR, SMQS, SM58 transactional RFC. So these are the some important transaction codes. Not only this one, we have the many are there, but so these queues are very important. So whenever you need some data to transfer to the target system here, then so the data will go via queue. Via queues, data via RFC destination, it will go to this system. Here, it will enter via Q2 in this system. Then it will go via like this. Like this, the steps will be executed here, right? Inbound queues and outbound queues. Here our role is to check whether the any data got failed, any data got failing as part of your daily monitoring sheets. What you have to do, you need to check the whether is there any data is getting failed or not here. If you go to the SMQ1, here the first transaction code here we need to check the are there any failed NB inbound outbound entries, nothing. If failed, then we need to report to the functional team. They will take care of the data of all related things here. Okay, that is the main thing here. And so in case of inbound, which is coming inside of the system, the data inside of the data is getting stuck inside of the data, which is getting stuck, which means some database issues, something related. There are some issues that we can check it out here. So in case some issues, we can check here, right? So these are the daily monitoring, SMQ1, SMQ2, then configurations, SMQR, SMQS. So these four transaction codes related to the queued RFC. Queues wise data will be transferred here. Transactional RFC, SM58. Okay. This is the types of RFCs. RFC connection type is different. Above to external, TCP/IP. Those are the different. So this is only types of RFCs, not the RFC types, RFC connection types. Okay. Any questions? Anyone?
So, there is in the real time, when you are doing a project, how many parameters we are using in the client, client side daily, and for the SICF, and can we use our own service, and how many services we can use, and if we are having more services, any impact on the system performance?
So there is no impact on the system performance. Answer to your question. And in the SMICM, you can use any port. You can use any port, whatever their customer defined, you can use any port. That's what I explained. You can use anything, but that should be active status here. So then services side. So any services you can use it. Only customized services you can use it here. So there is no impact on the systems.
And how we can create this is in later classes for SICF?
SICF, the services creations means it's development. So it's by developers. Developers will do the developments. Okay. The services
Okay.
creation, if the service is open, what form should be open, that related things should be created by the developers in SEAT, they will create it. So it's not in our scope. Our
Okay.
duty is
And
whenever they request you to activate the service, you have to activate it. If they have not requested anything, you no need to go to the SSCF.
okay, great. And how many sir parameters like in the real time we are using?
Which parameters are you talking?
Like any parameter like login, logout, and messages sent in real time we have a standard, right? I mean, more people they are using maybe because you have work on a lot of projects, right? So any of that one, maybe you have list of parameter that the company they are using.
That is depends upon the company. They will use all of the standards only. Whatever is there in the SAP, they will use the all our standards. Customer, all are the standard projects, standards parameters only they will use it. So there is a maybe 100 to 150, something standard parameters only they will use it. The parameters will change whenever you do the kernels and update and everything. The parameters by default, it will change it to the as per the latest.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, the one more thing is here, yeah, workflow configuration. So this is also, so as part of our daily or sometimes workflow, workflow automatic customizing, automatic customization. So SWU3 is the transaction code in SAP that allows users to perform the automatic customizing workflows. This includes the configurations, background jobs, workflows, administrators. So those things that will be done automatic customization here. So what is use of this workflow? Our duty is here, our duty. SWU3, you need to go to the SWU3. Our duty is the first, this runtime environment, this edit runtime environment should be active status. It should come to the active status here. So what is this exactly this for means? So automatic approval procedures, mainly for the approval procedures here. Suppose sometimes what the functional team will do, they will raise a PO, purchase order or sales orders, some invoicing, they will raise it, right? There are the approval procedure. The functional team will define the approval again, okay? L1 approval, L2 approval, L3 approval, like that, some levels of approvals, they will define it, right? So what they will do in the SAP, if someone raise the some invoice, some payments or invoice, they will raise it. If suppose like it's that invoice cost 500 to this is the 1 lakh below, then first level approval is fine, right? So if the same invoice, if the 1 lakh to, then maybe 5 lakhs, then second level approval is required, right? Invoice is more, then second level approval, third level approval, some approvals are required. Then how this will happen in the SAP means the functional team and development team, they will define the, so these things in their workflow configurations, they will define it. They will perform their duties and everything, that's fine. But our side, so to perform this workflow configurations, automatic activations, automatic approval procedures, events and everything means in the first, in the SWU3, this first one should be active status here, automatic workflow. It should be active. All the things will come to the active status here. Active status. This will come to the active status here. So this one we have to so activate it. It should come to the green status. Basically, it should come to the green status here. Green. It should be come to the green status here. So here to execute the workflow. RFC without errors. So we need to activate this one first of all. Set the password. So then auto customization. So execute. This should come to the green. You need to come activate these things to the active status. So it should come to the. So then you have to become everything should be come to the right mark. Right mark means active status. You have to become to the active status here. That's what we have to do it in the systems here, right? So everything should become to the active status here. So all the things you have to come to the activation. Then only the workflow will works. They will configure everything, then they don't get access to the this transaction code. Again, they will ask basis team to do the this configurations and everything here. Again, here, what we have to do, we need to, so we need to configure these things here. We need to configure these things here. That's what we have to do it in the systems here. Okay. So that's what we have to perform it here. Then background jobs. This should be green status actually. So this should be the green status here. See how we are, I made it as a green. So this one we have to make it as a green status here. Then only the workflow will works. So sometimes normally functional team will take care of this part. Sometimes they may ask you to activate the workflow. Then in that case, so we have to right click and just do the auto customization. Then everything will come to the active status here. That is what we have to perform it here. This is one of the small activity which we have to take care. Workflow auto customization means which you need to remember the SWU3 is the transaction code. Okay, SWU3 is the transaction code here. So what they will configure, how they will configure, that is the functional and development duties they will take care of. So invoice raising, once when the business raise the invoice, it will go to the approvals procedures. Then how the approval will see, they will get the email. Then in the email, they will click on the approve button. Then automatically it will come to the SAP screen and it will update it. Those things they will take care of. But here our duty is here first tab only. It's the first one. SWU3 will be in the active status here. It will be in the active status here. SWU3 in the active status here. So let me check here. SWU3. In every system, duty is this one. It's not active. So we have to redo the auto customization, everything. Auto means automatically it will create it actually. Workflow. Execute activity. Execute. Main motive, our motive is, so these jobs should come to the active status here. That is the main thing here. So see here execute the activity, RFC destination. So system user does not exist. Set up the user, system user. There is a user we have to create for this one. So whatever it is saying, then we have to create that one here, right? That's one we have to create it. One user we have to create it, then automatically, so it will be active status here. Then only it will works, system user. Okay, that is the main thing of the here, system user. Workflow customization. Redo what?
Sir, just you reset the password. Is there any user for that one already there
There is
that
a
you
user,
reset it?
right? There is a user SAP underscore FF40. So there is a user is got created. We need to reset the password of that users and everything. So there is a user does not exist. Is asking us to create it. So that's why just we can create the one user in SU01. So then that will become active status. Again, user creation, right? You need to inform to the security again in the real time. Here everything we are doing, but real time, again user creation. Then this is not under comes under the our activity. Again, we need to inform to the respective security team. They will create the user. That time you can come and execute the activity. So that they will, again there is RFC is missing, authorizations is missing. Don't have the enough authorization. Again, we have to
So
assign
this all
the,
will be a service users, right?
yeah, service users actually.
Okay.
So it's saying that S underscore RFC ACL is missing. Then again, we have to go to the this user. So there is a, this is the user. Again, we have to go to the roles. So then there is a role actually. S underscore RFC ACL. RFC ACL. Trusted RFC. S underscore, this is the one. This roles it is asking. Then we can assign these roles to the user. So security, again, we have to inform my security, not only creation of the user, you need to assign the role. Then again, you have to go. Then mail chain, we have to run it. So why? Because in the real time, we are not only one person, right? So it will be done by the multiple people here. So that's the reason. So we have to do this one. So again, it's giving some authorizations again. So like this, we have to activate the workflow. It's one-time activity actually. These all are the things are the one-time activate. We have to do that one. So just a small transaction code workflow, active workflow customization. Then business functions. So sometimes, actually, this is a functional activity, business functions activation, business functions activation. So like a SW F3, I guess. Let me see. SWU3, that is the workflow. So SFW5. Is it one? Yes, SFW5. So it's not this one. SFW5. Remember this transaction code SFW5. Business functions. New functionalities in your SAP systems. To activate this one, you need to go to the SFW5 transaction code. So normally functional team will do that one. Why? Because they are the functional means business functions will be active, business related business activation by there. Sometimes we may get request to activate the particular business functions means then we will come to know the what is the business functions we have to activate. Is it like a some RBD, the something related, some finance related, some other sales related things? They want to activate the some utilities related, some logistics related business they are planning to do. Currently, they are doing the sales. Some logistics also they want to activate in your SAP, same SAP system. Some finance related things also they want to activate here, right? So in that case, suppose they asked you to activate the this one, allocations, assets. So these things they asked you to activate in your SAP system. Then you can select whatever the business functions, function closing and everything. You can activate it, ILM, tax, crediting, auditing. You can select whatever you want to activate it. Click on the activate changes here. Activate changes here. It's required the business function. So there is a dependency you missed, ACC ILM. So that dependency you need to select it again. ACC ILM. So this business functions. So related thing you need to activate it here like this. So you can just activate it. There is a job will be scheduled in the backend so that after the job completed, this all the functionalities will be activated. So in this system, you want to some sales related, some manufacturing related, some are the utilities related, some archiving related, enterprise related, some other related things you want to travel related business, some HR payroll related things. This business system is only purely for the HR systems you want to use it. Then HCM related functionalities you can enable it here. By default, some functionalities enabled, some functionality will not be enabled. So which are not enabled, then you need to activate it here. So that is the thing we have to do it in the called the SFW5. Which one you have to activate and where it is required, you will get the requirement, everything. So based on that, you need to select the respective business function. You need to activate it here. Okay. So based on suppose one customer, they are using the manufacturing customer. They are using the manufacturing related stuff they are using currently in the upcoming months. So there are only one functionality, one business limited functionalities they are using. They want to use some HR related, payrolls related things also. They want to use it. Manufacturing plus payroll related things are in the one system. Then so we have to activate those things here in the business functions. We have to enterprise means organization business functions, we have to activate it. Okay, payrolls also we have to activate. Then we need to check our system will support or not. Yes, supporting. Then just activate the some finance the payroll related things. You can CRM related things, something you can activate it here. So those will be activated, that functionalities will be activated so that it will be, they will get the that related functionalities in the systems here. That related functionalities in the system, they will get it out. So like this, so we can activate the things in the systems, right? So business functionalities here. But as of now, when I worked for one customer, only one customer in the initial days, basis team has get the request. But after that, multiple clients, the only functional teams and development team, they will take care of these functionalities, activations and everything. So the rare cases we will get this type of request workflow. business functions, activations, and everything. So just remember the transaction code. If someone asks you to how to activate the business functions and what is the transaction code means, you can just tell like SFW5. So then what about the customer workflow customization? Have you worked on the workflow customization and activation? Yes, where in a SWU3 transaction code, we have to activate the automatic workflow configurations here. Okay. Anything? Any questions, anyone?
Sir, create user, what is the transaction code?
SU01. Security related transaction code is the SU01. That is in our scope. Yeah, in coming classes you will get. Just SU01 is for the user creation. PFCZ is for the roles creations and authorization.
Sir, for the license code, which T codes are the professional and limited
Which one? License.
for license,
License.
like for auditing?
License is based on the usage. License is based upon the number of users. It's not the transaction code based. Your SAP
Professional
license.
users and limited users, right?
Limited users means particular users.
Like
Means you want to
what?
restrict the like what is your ask here? Exact question.
Exact question is the same, sir. Like professional users and limited users. How you are like differentiate between these two for license point of view?
License point of view, so it's based upon the number of users who use the functionality, concurrent users and our normal IT users. So IT users means basis team, functional team, security team. So these are the IT users. So professional, maybe we'll call it as a professional users. So maybe some business users are there. Business users means they will use the business functionalities here. So those are the business users. So that cost is different and our cost is different here. Our licensing is different here. So that licensing, so there is a transaction code, yes, law something, there is a transaction code there. So we have to generate the license auditing reports. We have to generate it. Then we have to send it to the SAP. That is a different again.
Uh-huh. And another question, sir. Like just now you send give us one transaction code, right? As W U3, correct?
Hmm.
And in that one, if you do some like client copy, and after the client copy, every function will be work or some function will be not work. So we have to sort out.
Client copy will copy only data. Okay, only copy
Okay.
the data from tables to tables. So these are the configurations, maybe functionalities. This will be stay. This is a system-wide configuration. So it will stay in the same system. So there is no changes about the configuration. So client copy means it copy the client level data only from one table to another table. So it will copy the data. So if the configuration also saving into the table level, yes, configuration also will be saved. But whatever the configurations we are doing in the jobs, so workflows, business functions, is system wide. So system wide, how many clients are there? The configuration is same. It won't change.
Sir,
There is no
customers table also will be copied or not after the client copy?
custom table.
Yeah.
Any table data it will copy, either custom table or standard table. Any table data it will copy. Table data, all the tables data will copy. All the tables means in that all means all. All means either custom data, standard data, whatever you make, you can make it something that all the data will copy to the clients.
If it is not copied, then we have to how we can check.
If you are not copied means we need to check the have you applied any restrictions? Have you applied any
Uh,
exclusion list that you need to check? If you have applied, then definitely it won't copy that table data. It won't copy. If you are not applied, even though it's not copied, I mean definitely it will copy. Maybe if you have excluded those things, then definitely so it won't copy.
okay. will check. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.